What's up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this POV review by Autobahn. My name is Max, and today we are checking out the MG Cyberster, which is the first electric sports convertible available on the market. There are a few more coming relatively soon, and of course we're still waiting for the now mythical Tesla Roadster, but the MG Cyberster is here first. We drove it on the Goodwood Motor Circuit earlier this year, which was quite fun, but now we get the chance to drive it in the real world. And yeah, I'm going to take it for a drive on the B road towards the Autobahn for the Autobahn blast, and of course I'll show you the exterior, the interior, and the spec we've got today. So let's do a lap around the car, because we have this really nice spec. This is cosmic silver, beautiful color. I think it works really well on this car, combined with the red top, which is an option, and the red interior. Very nice classic spec. I'll show you the car with the roof up as well. But you have a choice available of ivory white, which is like an off-white, Andes gray, Inca yellow, diamond red, and mystic teal. And that means that you have a lot of different colors available, and they all look good. It's a very handsome car, I think. At the front we've got a nice little bumper with, I think this is a flap that can, yeah, this is a flap, so this opens or closes depending on the cooling needs. And of course it closes for more aerodynamic efficiency. We've got a little vent here as well, which is functional, and a little sort of splitter down here as well. Big MG badge. Cool little headlights as well with this design. Honestly, it's been designed by the MG studio in London, and I think they did a great job, because it's sort of, it looks modern, but it definitely has some classic design cues to it as well. And it definitely pops out in the real world. I know, sheep. Now, the Cyberster will be available with a single or dual motor setup. So the single motor is a rear wheel drive, 340 horsepower, 475 Newton meter car, with a range of 507 kilometers, which is not bad, really. That is called the Trophy long range. And then this is a GT, which is four-wheel drive, dual motor, 510 horsepower, 725 Newton meters of torque, and a range of 443. So you do lose quite a bit of range with this dual motor setup, and I think the single motor 340 horsepower is the way to go. You have more range, you have rear wheel drive, it's a little bit lighter, 100 kilos lighter than this all-wheel drive. What's up with those flies? Look at that! Go away. They are into the MG. Don't know why that's a thing, but so this is like close to 2,000 kilos, and the rear wheel drive is like 1,900 kilos. So it is quite heavy, but of course that is to be expected with an EV. So the only way you can tell that this is a GT and not a trophy long range is because you have these 20-inch wheels instead of 19s. Behind that, Brembo brakes, and we've got regular passive dampers and springs, so no adjustability. And it is very, very comfy. It's a little bit bouncy as well. It's, yeah, I'll talk you through more of that while we take it for a drive, but it's very comfy. 245 section tires at the front. This is a Pirelli P0, and then beautiful design here as well. As I said in my Goodwood video, a little bit of an Aston Martin tweak there. Really nice, beautiful lines in the doors as well. Side skirt with this winglet here with a 100th anniversary badge, because MG turned 100 years this year. That is also why they were head sponsor at Goodwood, which was quite cool. And then of course you have the party trick, the pièce de résistance, which is the scissor doors. A lot has been said about this. Is it stupid? Yes it is. Is it cool? Yes it is. I mean, this just adds a whole lot of drama to the car. Also, I think it's quite practical, because you can get in and out really easily, also in tight spots. But I also just think it looks cool. It's just funny. They are electric. I think you can also close them, but that's not really the idea. So you just hit the button. So you do have to wait for them every time, which is, you know, if you're in a hurry, that can be annoying. But yeah, I think it's really cool. And then you have the rear deck here, which houses the roof. And then also, of course, you've got a boot, which is 250 liters, which is not bad. Actually, that is pretty damn spacious. Badge, and then the rear lights, the LED bar running across and down as well, and then the 2 arrows for the indicators. So if we turn on the hazards, I think that looks pretty cool. It is something that would be like designed by a kid who designs a car, but I think it's pretty cool and it's pretty funny and it stands out. I like that. Little diffuser as well running into the rear bumper here. And then let me just show you guys what it looks like with the roof up. And it actually closes really quickly, so it's like 15 seconds, but it feels quicker, and you can do it up to 50 kilometers an hour. That's very quick actually. And then I'll show you what it looks like, because I think it looks really cool, especially in this silver with the red top. That is awesome. It's a very classic look, and yeah, I would definitely, this would be kind of my spec, I think. Silver, red roof, I think it works really well. Yeah, I think it's a cool car. I think it looks cool, and I think they did a great job having sort of a classic MG Roadster. Of course, they've been doing that for 100 years basically, and sort of taking that into the modern age. Interior wise, also very good. This is fake leather everywhere, but it's super soft and it feels very premium, and you have it everywhere. And then it's combined with this Alcantara. In this case, we've got the red Alcantara with the black leather. The seats are great, they are very comfortable. They are not very supportive though, so if you take a corner then you will fall out of it. Behind you, you've got some storage as well, and a speaker, and I think this is a manual override for the doors. And I quite like this whole cockpit idea. It's aimed at the driver. I mean, if you're a passenger, it's quite hard to operate this. You can't even operate your own climate, I think, or maybe that's why they have this hole here, so you can do that. But yeah, I think it's quite nice. And we've got a 10.25 inch display in front of us, and then you have 2 7-inch displays flanking that, with your radio, navigation and CarPlay, stuff like that, and your phone on the left one here. And then on the right one you've got your trip info and your charging and stuff like that, but you can also have the weather. This is like more an info display. And then down here we've got the display for climate and your car settings. So this is your driving modes or a launch control, one pedal drive, ESC, stuff like that, but also seating, position, lights, ambient lighting, your instrument cluster, how it looks, and what kind of info you have, and all your driving assistance, stuff like that. So yeah, this is very nice. It responds well. Some buttons are a bit small to operate on the go, but in general it's not bad, although I would have preferred more physical buttons, but we do have a little shortcut bar up there. And then we have pedals behind the steering wheel. I saw a couple questions about this in my first video. So the left one operates the regeneration. So you have 3 levels of regeneration, and then you have automatic if you hold it, and then you have the driving modes on the right pedal. So custom, comfort, sport, and then if you want super sport, you hit that button right there. There is one issue with the interior though. If you're a bit taller like me, the battery is below the seats, and it's like 11 centimeters high, so the seating position is a bit high. Of course, it's not a very large car to begin with, and then you sit a bit high, so you really have to scooch down if you have a camera on your head and you want to film your driving experience for an audience. You really have to scooch down and then sort of sit like this. I think this works for you guys, right? You can see properly, but normally I would be sitting like this, which would not be great. So I scooch down. I think this is pretty okay. So let's take it for a drive. We're going to open the roof. We have a lovely sort of sunny day today, which is nice. Close the door. I mean, this is a lot of drama. If you're leaving somewhere doing this, that's pretty cool. We're also going to do a couple measurements, 100 to 200 and 0 to 100. And we're going to go for Super Sport driving mode. And that's it. Just take off. We have an ESC button right there, so hit that and the ESC turns off. And then we have launch control. All right, so let's head out. And it's got a 77 kilowatt hour battery. I don't know if I said that already. They both have the same battery, the rear wheel drive and the four wheel drive. But of course, because the four wheel drive uses a bit more energy, yeah, it has a smaller range. Woo, it is quick though. It picks up nicely and you have a bit of fake sound, but it's not too loud. And price wise, I mean, this is different for every country of course, but in the Netherlands at least, it's really not that expensive. So I think it starts at 65,000 euros and this one, the GT, is 69,900 or something like that. So it's not that expensive, relatively speaking. So the steering gets a bit heavier in sport and super sport modes. That was a inner wheel that was having trouble getting its power down, but okay, so let's do a launch. We should be able to do launch control right now, and the claimed number by MG is 3.2 seconds, 0 to 100, but we were not able to do that earlier at Goodwood. We did 3.6, so let's find out. So we have the rocket thing, release. I mean, it's quick, but it's not 3.2. That's 3.48. So let's do that one more time. Oh, brake pedal is a bit weird. It's quite long. Performance in general is there, but it takes a while for the braking to really feel good. That was 3.47. So at least it's consistent. One last one, because we have a bit warmer tires maybe now. Launch control. 354. So we've got 347 as the quickest one. It is a bit quicker than the last time, but still, you know, it's not 3.2, and I don't see how you would be able to do that. Handling wise, I quite like it. The steering feel is really good. It feels beefy, it feels solid, it's not overly heavy, and the car responds really well to it. As I said, the suspension is quite soft, and that means that you can set the car in a corner and lean on that suspension, which is very nice. I also like the fact that you have the roof off. You can smell and hear, you know, the world outside, but it's completely quiet in here. And I think the way they should market this car is not particularly as a sports car, but more like a small GT, a weekend getaway car, right? It's really capable at that. You have proper storage in the rear and behind the seats. It's spacious enough for two people. Interior is nice. You have, you know, proper audio and stuff like that. So I think that's the way they should market this. Also, it's not super quick, but I think you would have enough with that 340 horsepower one. That does 5.2 or 5 seconds, 0 to 100. This does 3.4 3.4, 3 point something. But I think for a weekend car, the rear wheel drive one would be perfect, and you have a bit more range. So we're also doing a 100 to 200, and we have to get the roof up. I don't know if the doors, I don't know if the windows, yeah, they go down, okay. So you can do this up to 50 kilometers an hour, as I said. All right, so here we go onto the Autobahn. So let's try a couple 100 to 200 measurements. Does it even do 200 kilometers an hour? I'm not sure suddenly. I think I saw a top speed of 120 miles an hour somewhere, and I don't think that's 200 kilometers an hour, so we'll see. But anyway, another reason why I think this is more like a small GT car is because that suspension is so soft. It's really nice, don't get me wrong. I like it because it just feels comfortable and solid and yeah, really nice. But it also feels kind of floaty and bouncy sometimes. Okay, so let's find out if we can actually do 200 kilometers an hour, full throttle. Bit of electric whizzing sound, I quite like that. Yes, it will do 200 kilometers an hour. This is the limiter. So that's 209 on the speedo, 209 GPS as well. 100 to 200, 10.1, which is good. It weighs 2 tons, so let's try one more run. I've got 80% battery when I had 80% battery, I should say, when I started the first run. So let's find out. 10.26, but that's not bad. At least that's relatively consistent. But we did have that issue on the Goodwood track with the car overheating pretty quickly. So we'll find out if it does so now as well. But honestly, 200 kilometers an hour cruising, definitely possible. Although, you know, no one would ever do that, of course, because your battery would just drain so quickly. But it's quiet. It's very comfy. It's very comfy. Can't really get used to that brake pedal though. It's a bit weird. I don't know if that's a regeneration. So we'll do one more 100 to 200 measurement to see what it will do, and you know, to see if it's really consistent. But I think it's fun to get into this type of car now as well, because EV GTs can be really good, because an EV is inherently more comfortable than most internal combustion engined cars, because it's so quiet, and I just feel like it's kind of serene and it can be very nice. So as a GT, where you're just zooming about, you know, nice B roads or villages or stuff like that, I think it works really well. So here we go, another measurement, and that is, drum roll, 10.3. Yeah, I would say that is consistent enough. Battery goes down a little bit, performance goes down a little bit, but in general that's okay. Apart from the little bit awkward seating position, I think this interior is punching way above its weight. The materials feel super soft, all the controls feel good as well, the buttons, the switches, everything feels pretty premium, especially at this price range. This is pretty impressive. Also price-wise, you're looking at, as I said, like 65-70,000 euros. That's nowhere near most sports cars that have similar performance. So in that respect, I think it's also punching above its weight. And it also seems to be holding on to the charge pretty well, actually. And I noticed that when I drove the car back to the office this morning as well, that it was pretty accurate in its range prediction. So that is also nice. Yeah, It's really not bad, this car. It's better than I was expecting. I know that most of you don't really appreciate EVs in general and that you don't care for them. I don't care for them in general either, but I think once, you know, we start trying to have fun with them, and everyone is also still trying to figure out what to do with them and how to do it, and they're still improving. So it's just good to have a drive in one if you think it's interesting, and if you think that they're doing something differently, if you think that they have something unique, I think you should drive it just to see what it's about, and to experience the car and what it is like to live with. And I've been surprised by this car. I think it's really nice. Again, interior, like really good. It drives nicely, it's comfortable, it's quiet. Yes, it's a little bit weird and a little bit bouncy and soft in the suspension, but as a GT, just to zoom around B roads and highways and stuff, I think it's really quite good. So that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. You can subscribe by clicking the big button in the middle. You can also check out this video, this playlist, and I'll see you at the next one. Bye.